getting back to the team, and
Sure.
especially about the founding teams of a startup. So it's not only matching the skill set, combining the power of the strong sides of an engineer and a guy who has some ideas, some business ideas or management skills. So there should be some culture in the company. Sure. But prior to that startup, prior to that company, I think community is looking for an environment where they can just help each other improve their skills. We need that kind of culture in a structure. I don't know, maybe it's an incubator or a school. I don't know. So
it's an island.
Yeah, island, beach, desert, maybe here in Nevada. So
or a desert.
Yeah.
Oasis.
So can you please just let us know what kind of culture they will need in that startup,
Sure.
or they can find a place and an environment that provides that culture prior to founding that startup. So
Sure.
I think it's a major part of a startup which needs that
sure.
in a strong way, because I mean we all know that yes, there's these hard skills on the paper, but in reality we need that culture which takes the startup to the next level.
Yes. Yeah. And that you touched on that. It's so important to have a culture that, and so many companies are talking about this right now. I love the idea of a culture of creativity and of imagination and storytelling, and that's not easy to find on paper. You can read, Java, C#, all the skill sets, but how do you really figure out if somebody is going to create to have this culture, right? And so I don't think it's necessarily a physical location, although a lot of places are looking at their surroundings and saying, hey, if I have to spend 8 to 10 hours a day here, what does that look like for me and my team, and what's going to foster that creativity, what's going to give them that freedom, if you will, to be able to express themselves. And I think that you can kind of identify the people that have these types of skill sets in what their activities are on a day-to-day basis, and kind of looking at how holistically. One of the things that I've done for the last couple of companies is, aside from that I've worked for and recruited for, is I can kind of tell, aside from looking just at their portfolio, I try to look people up online where they are in like Instagram, or if they're on Twitch, are they a gamer? What are they doing? Whatever that is outside of just their work title, what does their life look like? Are they an imaginative person? Are they curious? Are they, and that's what it was, curiosity, giving them the ability to say, what if, and why not? What if we did this a little different? And sometimes you can see that holistically a little bit more online. Now, you don't have to go through everybody's Facebook drunk photos from college, right, to suss out who's who. But sometimes you can get those little snippets of a personality, like, let's check this out. That naturally kind of curious, inquisitive, pushing the boundaries a little type tend to do really well in this, because they're like, we're not confined by these 4 walls. We're going to just see if we can just, throw that wall out. And again, it's a little bit harder until you get them on the phone and start asking some questions, or you meet them in person and say, if money, I don't know if money was no object, but if reality was no object, right? If physical reality was not a thing, what would you do? What would you build? Where would you be? And starting to have just some of those conversations will not only help you to identify as a startup who you'd want to be around, because I think that's so important.
Yeah.
When you're 2 or 3 or 4 people and you're like, man, we're going to be 20 by the end of the year or whatever, the people that you want to be around are those people that are kind of curious and imaginative and just want to, I don't know what these little hands are, but it's just kind of that, like, let's just do it let's push the boundary a little bit more. Let's see what's possible, because the reality is that anything is possible. We just haven't built it yet. But we're getting there. And so the people that are saying, well, what if we just, and you can kind of see people who are, oh, this is the way it's always been, and this is the way it's always will be, might not do as well culturally, maybe in what you're trying to build. If you're like, hey, how do we build a 4th dimension, and those types of things. But you want somebody that asks a lot of questions and about life and how do we make this better? How do we do this differently? and people who kind of see in maybe like a cartoonish, creative, I don't even know how to describe that in words, but somebody who just kind of looks at the world a little different for what it could be, not what it is, and who's not willing to settle for what it is, and giving them a playground to say, okay, how can we build this? And surrounding yourself, I think the key is surrounding yourself outside of work with some of those people fosters that. So then when you see those people online, or you're trying to interview, or you're trying to build a team, you're like, man, I really want this person because they have that natural curiosity, and they're not defined by the limits that normal society is putting on them.
So I got one more question.
Sure.
So the talent is looking for more flexible working conditions, and we know that the mobility is increasing enormous, and I can work with someone from Singapore, from Japan, from UK, Brazil, wherever. So is it realistic to have some team members from different regions of the world in such a VR, AR, XR, or MR startup? So is it realistic to create a new reality while you are in the different part of the world? So
I think
what do you think?
I think it's very doable. I think with the current technology that we have, it's very doable. I think people are a little bit leery of it, just because maybe the time zone differences, maybe some communication barriers, language barriers, or different things that they're, or that old school, everyone has to be in the office from 8 to 5. But even mega corporations like Microsoft and Amazon and Facebook have global teams, Ubisoft and different places. They're like, we need people around the world who bring their culture and their ideas and their background to this, to whatever it is that they're building. So you get a different perspective when you reach different areas of the world. It's kind of that diversity builds empires. It's, if you've got all the same people from the same geographic location who went to the same school doing the same thing, you're going to get kind of the same result, right? But when you connect with people worldwide, and you're talking to somebody, you've got an engineer from South Africa and you've got an artist from the UK, they're going to bring a different perspective just naturally because of where they are and who they are. They're going to bring a different perspective to your team that you might not be able to find if you just hired somebody who lives a block away from you and had that same worldview. Some of the best artists and designers that I've met are not from America, who went to school, who have traveled, who have done different things, and they bring that perspective. So I think with the technology, it's easy to stay connected as a team with Slack and different, Zoom and Skype and all of these things that we use, right? I work remote, so it's very easy for me to stay connected. But again, keeping in mind, you're going to get that different perspective. And you're also, as you reach into some of those different countries that have some of this emerging talent, you're going to see where are those pockets worldwide that other technologies, they're doing this like this over here. Oh, they're doing that. And you're going to bring that perspective into whatever it is you're trying to build as well.
The reason I asked the question is it's not easy to cultivate creative environments and attract creative people. So, for example, Los Angeles has its Hollywood, and a lot of creative guys are over there. And so if I'm an engineer, I would love to work with these guys. So is it realistic to work with them? The reason was this. So I think it was very clear that it is quite doable to found a new company with people from different parts of the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as location based as it is now. I think that has been the way of the past because we didn't have that technology to kind of that infrastructure to connect us. But now that we're building this technology to be able to, real time anywhere in the world. I think that it's just going to continue to grow, and companies are going to realize, hey, I don't want the same person from LA. I want all these different ideas flowing in, and I think that's going to make it really exciting because then we get to see those parts of the world and experience the world through their eyes and their imagination.
Yeah, cool.
I'm excited about that for sure.
Yeah, I think anyone who gets the subject in a right way It's excited at the moment.
At the moment, yes.
Yeah.
It's going to change. It's going to be something. In 10 years around, we might be having a different conversation.
Maybe shorter,
but,
maybe longer.
Shorter.
Yeah, we are getting there for sure.
But we're getting there, and it's exciting to see some of this be a part of our daily lives, and just kind of, and as it enhances that. So I'm happy to live in that space.
Yeah, cool. So we are about to run out of time. So guys, we had new participants join the webinar. So guys, if you have any questions, please shoot them through that chat window. I think it's in the bottom side of the Zoom window. If you have, please shoot your questions. If you want to ask them later, I think you can reach out to Jamie on LinkedIn. You can just reach out to me. I can just connect you to Jamie, or you can just directly reach out to her. So yeah, please shoot your questions if you have any. If you don't have, I think we're about to just finalize our webinar and
make it available. Maybe.
Yeah, final remarks. So I know you're in a unique position where you have your experience with startup and big tech companies, where you have experience with people, talent, recruiting, and building new things, new structures, new whatever. So I think this makes you extremely valuable. I mean, your position is unique to me. So one last thing, why people should reach out to you. I mean, we had our conversation, but let's give final words to make sure that they get you in the right way. So
like he was saying, currently I work with Amazon, but I have worked with a number of startups and different things. And what I actually love to do is connect people and kind of help them to fill in some of those pieces to their next project, their next team, those types of things. So happy to help in any way that I can. If your startup is looking for, say, oh man, I really need a VFX artist, but I don't know where to find one or how to connect, happy to help in that regard. Know tons of people who are excited to work in this space and who are just kind of looking for their next project, but also how to, as your company or as your project kind of gets off the ground, you might need some help in just kind of keeping that culture concise. And sometimes it can get, all work and no play. How to, foster a culture of curiosity and creativity as you're building new realities, those types of things. So if you have any questions about, where is the future of this going? How can I incorporate this into my startup or my idea? I've got a great idea I'm trying to build. How does this impact what I'm building currently, or how do I connect with the right people to build this and to make this, and people who are going to be excited about the same things that I'm excited about and who understand this vision that I have, definitely can help you kind of brainstorm where to find those people in your area, or as we were talking about, where to find them worldwide. I don't think that we are limited anymore by geographic locations or did they go to an Ivy League school. So I think that we're very open to all of that, and I'm happy to help in any way that I can answer any questions.
Great. As Innocence, we are a community of startup founders and subject matter experts. Yes, we have our investors as well. You're a great subject matter expert on that.
Thank you.
Virtual reality, augmented reality, any realities.
Any reality.
So we are really happy to have you, and thanks for your time and making this webinar happen. So guys, those who just participated in this webinar, don't worry, we will put this video on YouTube and some other channels as well, and we will let you know on our social media accounts. So you can reach out to us anytime, to Jamie. So don't worry about the first part if you miss anything. So we will be in touch. Thank you for your time as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.